Vault Hunters 3rd Edition. Yeah, it's pretty hardcore when you're starting off, you may have noticed. And for those of you that don't want it to be so hardcore, well, I've got some tips. And if you're new to the channel, you can call me Zoofy, Zuffy, Zoofy, or Zoof. And this is Zoofology. Let's start with the most basic of commands. Now, you may have seen someone running vaults looking like this, or this, and you might have decided that you do not want to mark, or maybe you just forget and then you get lost. Well, luckily for you, there is a very easy solution to this if you're okay with it. You can actually enable waypoints just like you had last season with a simple game rule. That game rule is just vault, allow waypoints, and then true. And now you can press whatever key it is that allows you to set a quick waypoint. Now, another game rule to be aware of is Vault Casual Mode. This will basically extend beginner's grace indefinitely, so you'll never lose what you came in with into a vault, even if you die. Now, for those of you who want a little bit of extra help finding those really good rooms in vaults, and you always seem to find it either last second or you never find it at all, this one's for you. Start off by going to your options, controls, keybinds, and see if you have minimap settings set to a button. Remember that button, because we're going to come out of this now and we're going to press that button while we're in the vault, because that's the only way to access this menu. Go to View Settings. Now click on Cave Mode Zoom In. Set that to off. After that, size up your minimap as large as you can get it. And this does something pretty nice. Now you can see every room around you. Oh, if you notice, we actually have a crystal room and a western room very close. And now you know exactly which way to go. Now, when you run into a snag on your vault altar and you have an item that is tricky to find the right biome for, let me introduce you to Nature's Compass. It's very easy to make. It just takes some logs, some saplings, and a compass. You'll open up the compass. I'm going to search dripstone, and sure enough, there is dripstone. You can also search things like diorite, granite, and andesite. All of these have their own cave types. I don't suggest crafting these. I would just go mine it in bulk. Let's go ahead and start the search. And as long as I keep my compass pointed north, then I will be headed straight for it. And just like that, we found it, dripstone. And pointed dripstone, so make sure to get that too. Now, at any point, if you learn something new, please drop that in the comments so that I know how I'm doing. Also, are you subscribed? If you spend more than this much time in a puzzle room, it's time to make a change. You need to get yourself a pick-a-ring. Yes, I know, it does cost a pog, but this isn't the hard thing for many people. It's actually the heart of diamond. Where you get this is from Stoneling. Stonelings spawn under level 0, so find yourself a big open cave and hold tab every now and then to be able to see Stoneling written on your map somewhere. Another way to quickly find Stoneling is if you have waystones already unlocked, you can fast travel between 2 waystones, one down in the cave and one at your home, and this will quickly reset all of the mobs down in the cave until you find a Stoneling. And just like that, it was actually quite easy to find a Stoneling. But unfortunately, if you do not have waystones, this is going to take you a long time. Be advised, Stonelings are very difficult to kill if you're not prepared. Stonelings will disappear whenever you get close to them, and shooting arrows, they just kind of bounce off. So there's one of 2 ways you could do this easily. One, a glow shroom from Quark. You can find these in the vault. I don't know if I've found them anywhere in the new Terralith generation. Another way is with supplementary bombs, which are actually unlocked for everyone, and just blow them up. And if you're still not convinced that the Pickering is very powerful in vaults, then just take a look at what it can do to this chromatic iron room in the vault. You'll come out with so much chromatic iron that the overworld mining is just over. Let's talk about the X-Mark room. The X-Mark room is one that can either be very rewarding or a complete waste of time and potentially a waste of life, if you don't have a strategy at least. My strategy will require a water bucket and having a few enchantments on your helmet and boots. Your helmet should have Respiration 3 and Aqua Affinity. Your boots should have Depth Strider 3. Start off by placing a water bucket on the center of the X. Now, just dig straight down under the water. If it turns out to be a bust and full of mobs, the water will keep all the mobs on both levels away from you. Now just swim up and dash away. I do recommend placing more water to discourage mobs from following you if you have an infinite water bucket. Now, if you couldn't tell, water buckets are really powerful in the vault. They can immobilize pretty much all mobs, all with some pretty basic equipment, and of course it does kind of need some type of infinite water source, so not entirely basic, as it does require a pog. By placing water behind you, you're covering your back so that you only have to focus on your fret. With the water handling all the mobs, you can freely mine all the bronze. Of course, still slashing the occasional spider. And if something sneaks up behind you, just place water and push it back into the stream. I can't stress enough, when you see a spider, you take it out. This really is the most free way to get all of this bronze. Now, when you hear this spider coming, fall back to water. Here's a perfect example of just how strong water is. You just place it down and then the mob floats away. And when you're up on the corners like this, make sure nothing can jump up to you, so just place some water down. I want you to pay attention to the spider dash attack that I'm about to let it do. It will ignore the water stream if it locks onto you. Spiders alone are what make this room very dangerous. Also, because of all the water that you're placing, some of the zombies will turn into drown, and some of those drowned will have tridents. And those tridents do a lot of damage from range. Here you may notice that I'm looking at this wall a lot. It's because I'm really concerned that something's going to jump over the wall and land on top of me. And at this point, I've pretty much decided that I've got everything worth getting that's safe, and I'm going to get out of here. And as you can see, it's actually a pretty good haul of bronze for a very early level. Now, of course, I did have a water bucket, an infinite water bucket, and that's rather expensive for some of you, but honestly, it is a very good investment, and I would not do a dragon room without one. Anyways, that is it for my tips and tricks. I hope it helped you out, and if it did, leave a like. I'll see ya.